Cerebral cortex has been anatomically divided into four different lobes by central sulcus and temporal sulcus into frontal lobe, parietal lobe, temporal lobe, and into occipital lobe. And it is also a functional division as well. It is divided into motor cortex, sensory cortex, auditory cortex, and visual cortex. Frontal lobe acts as a motor cortex, parietal lobe acts as a sensory cortex, temporal acts as a auditory cortex, whereas occipital acts as a visual cortex. Electrostimulation of different areas of cortex were performed to study their functions. This test was performed in conscious human beings in whom brain has been exposed for some purpose and effects studied. Frontal lobe. The major areas of the frontal lobe are area 4, area 6 and area 8. Area 4 is also called as primary motor area. This area is situated in the precentral gyrus, that is in front of the central sulcus of the frontal lobe of this area. The body is represented upside down from the medial to lateral surface. The lower parts of the body are represented in the medial surface and upper parts on the lateral surface. The order of representation from the medial to lateral surfaces like toes, ankle, knee, hip, trunk, shoulder, arm, elbow, wrist, hands, and fingers and face. And so this is called as motor homunculus. The size of representation is directly proportional to the skill of that part. However, the parts of the face are not represented in inverted manner. The function of this area, that is, this area is concerned with contraction of discrete muscles, that it sends motor signals to the facial muscles of both the sides, that is, it has a bilateral innervation, and to the other muscles of the opposite side. Many of the fibers of pyramidal tract arise from the motor cortex, that is area 4. There is another area called suppressor area, which is also denoted as a 4S, and this area lies anterior to area 4 and it inhibits the movement initiated by the area 4 and thus preventing exaggeration of the action. Area number 6, which is also called as premotor area, it lies in front of area 4. It contributes to both pyramidal and extrapyramidal fibers. And it is concerned with the coordination of the movements initiated by area 4. It is believed to be the cortical center for extrapyramidal system. Area number 8, which is called as frontal eye field, this lies anterior to the area 6 in the precentral cortex. Its stimulation causes conjugated deviation of eyes to the opposite side. The functions of area 8 are: area 8 appears to be the mainly responsible for voluntary eye movements, and this area is also concerned with accommodation reflex mechanism. Supplementary motor area. It is situated in medial surface of frontal lobe rostral to the primary motor area. The exact function of which are not clearly known, but it is suggested that it is concerned with coordinated skill movement. Prefrontal cortex, that is area number 9, 10, 11 and 12. This is the anterior part of the frontal lobe of the cerebral cortex in front of area 8 and area 44. The functions of prefrontal cortex are: it forms the center for higher functions like emotional, learning, memory and social behavior. Short-term memories are registered here, and it is the center for planned actions. The area is also concerned with the intelligence. Then we have Broca's area number 44. It is the motor speech area. It lies anterior to the primary cortex above the synovial fissure. So this diagram shows the primary motor area, which is just in front of the central sulcus, then premotor area 6, just in front of the primary motor area, then frontal eye field, that is area number 8, just in front of premotor area. It also shows the Broca's area, that is area number 44, which is a motor speech area. And this is the medial surface of the frontal lobe, where it shows the area number 9, 10, 11 and 12. Parietal lobe. The major areas in this lobe are primary sensory area and somesthetic area number 2, and also somesthetic association area. Primary sensory area, it is also called as somesthetic area 1, and it is also called as Brodmann's area 312. Fibers conveying impulses by spinothalamic tract, lemniscal system, that is touch, pain, temperature senses, after relaying in thalamus end here, and thus we become aware of specific senses. So its functions are, it is the highest area of general conscious sense perception. Somesthetic area 2, it lies below the area of somesthetic area 1, so that it is buried in the lateral, that is in sylevian sulcus. This area receives sensory impulses from somesthetic area 1 and from the thalamus directly. The function of somesthetic area 2 is, it is concerned with perception of sensation. Somesthetic association area, it includes area 5 and 7 of the Brodmann. It lies posterior to somesthetic area 1 in the parietal lobe. The functions of somesthetic association area is that it is concerned with the synthesis of various sensations perceived by somesthetic area 1. Thus, this area forms a center for combined sensation like stereognosis. So, sensory motor area. This sensory area of cortex is not limited to the postcentral gyrus in parietal lobe. It extends anteriorly into motor area in the precentral gyrus of frontal lobe. Similarly, the motor area is extended from precentral gyrus posteriorly into postcentral gyrus. Thus, precentral and postcentral gyri are combined together by association neurons, and they are functionally interrelated. So, this area is called as sensory motor area. Coming to temporal lobe, the major areas of this lobe are primary auditory area and audiopsychic area. Primary auditory area, this includes areas 41, 42 and Wernicke's area, that is area number 22. Areas 41 and 42 are situated in anterior transverse gyrus and lateral surface of the superior temporal gyrus. Wernicke's area is located in the upper part of the posterior temporal gyrus posterior to area 41 and 42. The function of primary auditory area is that it is concerned with perception of auditory impulses, analysis of pitch and determination of intensity source of the sound. Audiopsychic area, that is area 22, this occupies the superior temporal gyrus, the function of which is this area is concerned with the interpretation of auditory sensation along with Wernicke's area. Occipital lobe, the major areas of this lobe are primary visual area, that is area number 17, it is concerned with perception of visual impulses, whereas visual association area, that is area number 18, it is concerned with interpretation of visual impulses, whereas occipital eye field, that is area 19, it is concerned with movement of the eyes. So this diagram shows the temporal cortex, where it shows the primary auditory areas and secondary auditory, then Wernicke's area, where temporal lobe shows primary and secondary visual areas.